Hi, I'm Jeff Ludy, and you're watching Ask Jeff, a YouTube channel to educate, empower, and encourage entrepreneurs. And I hope you're enjoying this. By the way, if you have a question for me, you can go to ask@jeffludy.com. Send me your question. We may make a video with an answer to your question. Okay, so today I want to talk to you about why employees steal. And this could be an employee at your business. It could be a housekeeper. It could be your children, okay? People steal, it happens. And so since it happens, I want to talk to you about why it happens and then also some things you could do possibly to help prevent that kind of loss. Let me start by telling you, I have a friend who is a manager at a Sam's Club in Amarillo, Texas. And one year he won the award of having the least amount of shrinkage of any Sam's in the whole country. Shrinkage meaning loss, theft, damaged goods, etc. And he told me, this is 15 years ago, he said, I had the lowest number of shrinkage. I was like, oh really, how much? He said, about $250,000. I thought, wow, $250,000. And that's with Sam's having a lot of implemented procedures, right, to try to keep shrinkage as small as possible. And I thought to myself, wow, that's pretty amazing. Another friend of mine, one time, he owns like 70 convenience stores. He said to me, Jeff, he said, do you know the difference between a robber and a thief? And I thought, well, I think I do, but I think you're going to tell me. And he said, a robber is a guy who comes into a convenience store with a gun. A thief is a guy who works behind the counter at the convenience store, okay? Because apparently there's stuff there, right? Grab a beer, grab something to eat. There's a lot of opportunities for stuff like that to happen there. So why do people steal? Here's what I've learned and here's what I've read other people say about it. There have to be really three things that need to happen in order for people to steal from you. One, typically, not always, but typically is that there's some kind of a need. You know, like they just have something that they need money or they need what you have, and they feel like it's something that they must do, right? So let me give you an example. If your car broke down and you were gonna not be able to come to work anymore, and so you need your job and your job needs you, you might consider stealing some money to be able to go buy a part for your car. And I'm going to get to that component in just a minute where you are thinking about why it's okay to do this. But so you steal a bit of money, you go do that. Now, one of the common ways that people steal money, and of course it's not as common anymore as it used to be because now most everything is credit cards, but it's called building the bank. So let me give you an example of the convenience store. A guy comes up and he buys a soda, and we know that the soda is 92 cents plus tax equals $1. The guy comes up and you say, yeah, $1. And you hit the no sale button on the cash register, it pops open, he gives you $1, you put the dollar in there, and then you start keeping track in your head. Oh, I've done 20 of these today. So when nobody's looking, you come and pull a $20 bill out, you put it in your pocket, the drawer is okay, you've got a little extra money. And so stealing isn't always a big thing, but it can be like embezzlement level stealing as well. But that's called building the bank. So it's not just always where they grab something. Sometimes it's where they're smart and they're doing something to try to get a little money into register that they can take out later because they're trying to fulfill that need. So need is the first thing. The baby needs diapers, I need gasoline, I have some kind of need. And you say, well, Jeff, I think people sometimes steal just for fun. Well, they do that too. There's kind of a thrill in it. But usually it's based around a need. Because think about this. When was the last time that somebody who had $1 million cash in their checking account actually had to go and build the bank at a convenience store $1 at a time? They just don't have the same need that someone else with lesser income does. So need is the first one. The second one is that they have to justify why they're doing it. Oh yes, there are some pathological people out there that don't even think this way. But most semi-honest people have to have a need and then they have to justify that need. Like I said a minute ago about the person who needs money to buy a part for their car so they can come to work. Well, look, man, the boss needs me, I need him. I gotta have this part. If I don't have this part, I can't continue working here. If I can't work here, he's gotta replace me. Plus, and they always have the best intentions, at least to this point. Plus, when I get paid on Friday, I'm just gonna go ahead and I'll put that part money back into the drawer and the drawer can be over, and what's the harm? It's really a loan because I have a need. So they start justifying this in their mind why that's okay. Now, sometimes people don't justify in that sense, they justify in a different sense. And we're going to put this meme up on the screen. And I want you to see this, okay? And I want to read it to you too. It says, "My boss arrived at work in a brand new Lamborghini. I said, 'Wow, that's an amazing car.' He replied, 'If you work hard, put all your hours in, and strive for excellence, I'll get another one next year.'" Sometimes when people see you as an employer and you have nice things and you travel and you're dressed well and you're not working as hard as they're working, they start to justify and say, "Man, I'm really the guy who's working here. I'm the guy who's making this happen. I'm underappreciated, I'm underpaid, I'm undervalued." Those things could be true. They may not be true, but it's a way for people to justify. You don't need it. You're not going to miss it. I need it. I need it. So they justify. The third thing that has to happen is they have to have opportunity. And I'm going to just shorten that here, okay? They have to have opportunity. So let's say that you had a need and you could justify it, but there's absolutely no way you could get into the safe, right? You can't steal what's in the safe if there's no opportunity. So let me ask you this. Which of these three things do you think you can control? You can't control their needs. You can't control what's going on in their brain, right? All you can control is opportunity. Now, I will tell you this part right here. Let me say something to you if you've been successful, and hopefully one day, if you're not now, you will be. While you need to be aware of that, you can't live in that fear. You can't. If you were able to buy that nice car, you're able to go on vacation, you're able to do things, you shouldn't have to tiptoe around your own employees, your own office staff, and feel like, well, gee, I hope they don't resent me for living a better life than they live. Hey, if they did what you did, okay, and then they wouldn't need to justify any of this because they could do what you're doing. Now, I understand. I'm not talking about gloating or showing off or flexing on the poors. I'm talking about you should not walk around constantly thinking, I wonder if my employees are going to rip me off because I'm doing so well. The only thing you can control, the only part of this that you have any control over is going to be opportunity. So the question is, how do we remove opportunity? That's really what this boils down to. Probably the best studying you can do when it comes to opportunity, removing opportunity, is to study how banks do it. You know, banks have very good checks and balances. There's no one person who has control over things. There are redundancies in place so that if money's missing, they will know that money's missing. Now, they may not ever recover it, but they'll know that it's missing. So let me tell you what we used to do when I owned my restaurant. Because we were concerned about people sneaking out beer, wine, liquor. That was kind of the hot items, right? Is they would put it in a trash bag, okay? And then all of a sudden, the guy who never likes to take the trash out says, "Hey man, I got the trash, I'll take the trash out." He'd go out to the dumpster and he'd throw the trash in there, and then he could come back later and retrieve the things that he put in there. So one of the things that I learned in the restaurant business was to actually get clear trash bags. Clear trash bags, even though you can hide stuff in them, at least it serves as a deterrent. I learned that from my friend at Sam's. In fact, he tells me that all their trash bags are clear, and you have to have a manager go with an employee when they take the trash out to the dumpster. Another thing that they have to do too is once the trash goes into the dumpster, the manager pushes on that button that uses a hydraulic fluid and that compressor or whatever you call it to actually crush what's in there. So it's going to be kind of hard to take something that's breakable and put it in the trash and then think you're going to go back out and retrieve it. Not only that, had an actual lock on the little door. You had to unlock the door to be able to put the trash in. So prevention, removing opportunity, making things more difficult. If you own a business where you have an accountant, don't let the accountant sign the checks. You sign the checks. Almost any check, any bill you need to pay, right, is something that can either wait till you're back in the office to sign it or it can be paid electronically, but you should be the one signing the checks. One of the things that I do here, and we have a great accountant, I trust her with all my heart. I just don't want to put her in this position, right? She has no access to be able to sign a check. I sign all of the checks. Another thing that I do too is with my bank statement, I actually get a copy of all the checks that were cashed during the previous bank statement. I actually have photocopies of them that come in the statement. They come in a paper statement. They also come to my inbox, and I can go into my checking account and I can download those and review them. I review them every month. Sometimes I get backed up, but I review them and I look at this and I ask sometimes, hey, tell me, who is this check to? I'm not sure I understand where this check went. So anything that's electronic can be tracked. On our bank account, if we do a transfer over a certain threshold of dollar amount, it actually has to come to me on my phone, and I have to get a code from that, and I have to give our accountant a code so she can punch it in. It's like an extra safe layer of protection. There's things you can do to learn how to remove opportunity from theft. Need, justification, opportunity. You can't control this, but you can control this. I hope this has been helpful. If you have any questions for me, don't forget, ask@jeffludy.com. I look forward to speaking with you again real soon.